Lloyd, thank you for coming up from Wellington. It's nice to see you in Auckland. Well, it's a novel idea. It's good that you're here. With that, happy to take your questions.
I've got a few questions from our reporters around the country. First on oil and gas and fossil fuels. How much total is your budget giving to the fossil fuel industry?
Well, as you know, we've talked about a $200 million investment to make sure that we can get oil and gas exploration back here in New Zealand. It's a really important part of it. We're a country that's a top 5 in terms of renewable energy, but we're also going to need gas for a foreseeable period of time. And as you know, the oil and gas ban, as lovely as it may sound, it ended up creating a whole bunch of unintended consequences, which puts our energy security at risk. And so we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to generate domestic pools of gas. Otherwise, what we're doing is we're importing huge amounts of Indonesian coal. That's not where we want to be. Gas is half as bad as oil, not quite as good as renewables, but it's going to be necessary for New Zealand for some time.
We've got a few clauses in free trade agreements with the EU and with the UK, and I think it was last year that Minister Macleay signed the climate deal, which have a whole lot of provisions in there that talk about winding down fossil fuel investment and putting government money into fossil fuels. Does that, what you've announced yesterday, does it breach any of those?
No, we're very comfortable with meeting our obligations and meeting our commitments. And I just, in my conversations with many leaders around the world when I'm doing my bilaterals, is, we are a top 5 country in terms of the amount of renewables that we have. We're almost at 88%. That is, we want to obviously double the amount of renewables. That's why, we're doing everything we can to get fast track up and running, to get solar, to get wind out there as much as possible. But all we're just saying is, for a country like New Zealand with our energy mix, we're going to need gas in particular. We want to have gas rather than coal, and as a result we've got to make sure that we can incentivise domestic production of gas.
Financial contribution, this is what subsidies to fossil fuels are classified as, a financial contribution from the government or an equity infusion or funding mechanism, which that kind of catches what you announced yesterday, that $200 million for gas exploration.
Yeah, look, I just say...
Does breach the climate deal, or is there an exemption clause?
I'd just say to you, we are very comfortable with that we'll meet our international obligations, but we also have a high mix of renewables, but we do need gas for New Zealand for the